Good morning. I just want to say what a wonderful time in the presence of the Lord that we had yesterday at the gathering. God is so good. It was a very special day for me. My sisters from Ohio came and brought my mom to visit us in the service, and I was just truly blessed. We got a chance to sing a little bit after church, and I haven't sang with them in a long time. It was good. This week we continue our journey through God's Word in Genesis, starting in chapter 23, and we go through chapter 25. I want to concentrate on chapter 25 with you just for a little bit this morning. Verse 21, it says, "And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived." If you remember the story of Abraham and Sarah, Sarah was barren for decades. And we find here that Rebekah was barren for almost 19 years. Rachel, who comes a little bit later, actually was barren, and she's the one who marries Jacob. And in Genesis chapter 30, she cries out, "Lord, let me have children, lest I die." I want you to stop and ask yourself this question. Why were these women handpicked by God? They were to be in the lineage of Jesus and to bring forth the Messiah. Why would they be barren? In each case, we find that God is working. You see, in your circumstance, God is working to perfect you, to bring you to a greater knowledge of Him. First of all, we find that when God chooses you, you have to learn to become dependent on God. Each one of these needed a supernatural intervention to bring about their God-appointed task. If God gives you a great task, you're going to have to wait on Him because He has to come through. You have to depend on Him. There was a period of waiting where faith would be tested. We saw that Abraham struggled in his faith, and we watched as his faith grew. And finally, he came to the place where he could give everything to Jesus. It's interesting that that place was on a hill at an area called Moriah. That's the same place where Jesus would later be crucified. And it's the same place where we will find the rock, the foundation of our faith. If God has promised you a God-sized blessing, expect delay. Expect trials. Expect struggle. God is building your faith. But you can also expect that there will be a day when God will intervene, when He will step in power and strength and glory. Wait upon the Lord. Finally, a God-sized blessing will always require supernatural power to fulfill it. If you're waiting on a healing, a deliverance, an answer to prayer, if you need a God-sized blessing, I want to encourage you today to hold on, to keep praying, to keep believing. Don't give up. Know that God is in time, on time, every time. And He will be right on time for you. Just a little bit farther down in that chapter, verse 32, it says, "And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob." You know the story. Jacob and Esau are born to Rebekah. And of course, Esau is the oldest. Esau becomes a hunter, a rugged man, and Isaac loves him. Jacob is more, if I can say this, a mama's boy. He stays home. He's actually home cooking some porridge or some pottage. And Esau comes home and he's starving. He's hungry. He's been hunting all day. Imagine going all day without eating. And he comes up and he says, "Give me some porridge." And Jacob says, "Sell me your birthright." Now I want you to consider what Esau was being asked to sell. He was being asked to sell the promise of God to Abraham. The same promise that flowed through Isaac, through Sarah and Rebekah's barrenness. Miracle after miracle took place to bring this promise. And this birthright was not just an inheritance. This birthright It was the promise of the Messiah that he would come through you, that you would be a blessing to the entire world. This was what was being asked for Esau to sell. He was being asked, sell me the promise of God in your life. When Esau sold his birthright, it was a rejection of God's plan for his life. Just a little bit farther in verse 34, we read, thus Esau despised his birthright. This isn't about selling a simple inheritance. It was about trading God's promises for the fleshly lusts, the worldly things that mattered at the moment, and not keeping his eyes on the prize. Jesus once asked, what will a man give in exchange for his soul? Today I would like to ask you, what will a man trade in exchange for his blessing? I want to encourage you today. Don't give up. Hold on to the promise of God. Don't give in. Keep your eye on the goal. Don't look to the left or the right. Let faith arise in your heart and believe that if God is for you, who can be against you? You see, I've read the book all the way to the end. We win. God is for us. Be blessed today and hold on to your promise. Know that God is always on time. God bless you.